Hello, my friends. I'm Dr. Amelia Hayes, and today I want to talk to you like a real friend. A conversation most men never get in their entire life, a truth nobody teaches boys, and a truth many older men forget. Intimacy does not retire, passion does not fade with age, desire does not disappear when the hair turns gray, but too many men believe it does. Too many men think age steals their confidence. Too many men think their body is betraying them, and silently they give up. Let me tell you something important. Your body is not the enemy. Your age is not the problem. The problem is the misunderstanding, the myths, the shame, the silence, the fear that intimacy belongs only to the young. I've treated thousands of men in their 50s, 60s, 70s, even their 80s, and I can tell you this with absolute certainty. When a man understands how his body works, when he understands the emotional part of intimacy, when he learns the small daily habits that shape performance, everything changes. Men reconnect, men rebuild confidence, men rediscover passion they thought was gone forever. And here's what surprises most men. Performance problems are not always age, they are often habits. Small mistakes, things you can change starting today. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through 5 truths every older man needs to hear. 5 mistakes that quietly damage intimacy. 5 shifts that can transform trust, pleasure, and connection. These are the things no one teaches men. Not fathers, not friends, not society. But they matter more now than ever. Stay with me, because the first lesson will surprise you more than anything else. It's about something men misunderstand deeply. Something that affects confidence, connection, and performance. Let's begin. Let's talk openly. Let's rebuild real intimacy. The kind that lasts into your 60s, 70s, and beyond.
Let's start with something most men never talk about, something many feel awkward about, something that quietly creates distance in a relationship: vaginal fluids. Yes, we're going there. Because misunderstanding this one thing has damaged more intimacy than age ever did. Here's the truth: vaginal fluids are not random moisture. They're not dirty. They're not something to avoid or feel embarrassed about. They are a masterpiece of the human body. 3 parts of a woman's anatomy create them. The Bartholin's glands release a silky fluid that reduces friction. The Skene's glands, sometimes called the female prostate, add more lubrication during arousal. And the cervix produces protective mucus that keeps the environment balanced and healthy. These fluids are mostly water, plus amino acids, enzymes, minerals, and lactic acid. All designed to protect delicate tissue. All designed to reduce infection risk. All designed to make intimacy comfortable, safe, and pleasurable. But here's where things go wrong. When a man reacts with disgust, judgment, or hesitation, it sends a powerful emotional message. To a woman, it feels like rejection. It creates shame she might carry for years. It makes intimacy feel unsafe. It breaks trust in ways men never realize. But when a man understands the biology, when he sees fluids as a natural, healthy response, everything changes. Because here's what fluids really mean. They mean her body feels safe with you. They mean her body is responding to connection. They mean her body trusts you enough to relax. This is not something to pull away from. This is something to honor. Older men often tell me they feel disconnected from their partner. But sometimes, the disconnection starts right here with one misunderstanding, one reaction, one moment of hesitation. Shift your perspective. This isn't something dirty. This is the body's way of saying, I'm ready. I feel safe. I trust you. And when a man embraces that, intimacy deepens in ways no pill could ever achieve. Now, let's talk about the question men whisper. The one they never ask out loud. The one they hope I will bring up first. Taste and smell. Yes, gentlemen. This is the #1 private question I get in my clinic. And the truth is simple. Fluids vary. And that variation is completely normal. A woman's taste can change with hydration, diet, stress, hormones, even medications. When she drinks plenty of water, when she eats fresh fruit like pineapple or citrus, her natural fluids often taste lighter. Sometimes even sweeter. Garlic, onions, alcohol, heavy coffee, these can create a stronger edge. Around ovulation, fluids tend to be neutral and more slippery. During menstruation, a faint metallic note is normal. After menopause, fluids may be less abundant, slightly more acidic, and sometimes require more stimulation to appear. None of this means anything is wrong. It means the body is alive, changing, responding to the world. And here's what most men don't know. Taste can shift from week to week. Even day to day, just like a man's scent changes after a workout, a meal, or a stressful day. But let me be clear, if the taste suddenly becomes very strong, unpleasant, or if there is itching or discomfort for her, that's usually a simple, treatable imbalance. Things like bacterial vaginosis or yeast infections. Common. Fixable. Nothing to panic about, and definitely not something to criticize her for. Most of the harm comes not from the taste itself, but from a man's reaction. When a man judges, when he pulls away, when he makes a comment, she feels exposed, ashamed, rejected. But when a man accepts her, when he stays calm, kind, curious, her body relaxes. Her confidence rises, intimacy becomes deeper, warmer, more connected. Acceptance is more arousing than perfection. Connection is stronger than any variation in taste. And the man who understands this becomes a partner she trusts with her whole body. Now, let's talk about a topic many men fear: safety. Especially when it comes to oral intimacy. Here's the question men ask me in a low voice. Dr. Hayes, is it safe to swallow fluids? Let me give you the honest, science-based answer. For healthy couples in a committed relationship, yes, it is generally safe. Vaginal fluids are mostly water, plus enzymes, plus protective compounds the body naturally creates. In fact, biologically speaking, they are less risky than things most people do without thinking: kissing, sharing drinks, sharing utensils. These actually exchange more bacteria than vaginal fluids do. But that doesn't mean there is zero risk. Just like semen, just like blood, fluids can carry sexually transmitted infections: chlamydia, gonorrhea, herpes, syphilis, trichomonas, and yes, HIV. The risk increases when one partner has an active infection. The risk increases when the receiving partner has mouth sores, bleeding gums, or open ulcers. So here's the practical, grown-up truth. Biologically, risk exists. Emotionally, honesty is a safeguard. Practically, the solution is simple: know your status. Talk openly with your partner. Test together. Twice a year is a healthy standard for sexually active adults. More often if you have a new partner. This is not about mistrust. This is about partnership, responsibility, confidence. Because here's the mistake many men make. They assume that no symptoms means no risk. That has never been true. Most STIs have silent phases. Some show no symptoms at all, and yet they still spread. Real intimacy requires transparency. Real connection requires safety. A man who takes health seriously creates a relationship where both partners feel protected. And let me tell you this: safety does not kill passion. Safety builds trust, and trust makes passion deeper, stronger, and longer lasting than any quick fix. So don't guess, don't assume, don't avoid the conversation. Talk about it, test together, protect each other. This is how true intimacy grows without fear. Let's move to the mistake that quietly destroys more intimacy than illness ever could: silence. Embarrassment, avoiding the conversation because it feels awkward. I've watched couples drift apart for years not because something was medically wrong, but because neither person knew how to talk about it. A change in smell, a change in taste, a change in her comfort, a change in your confidence. And instead of talking, you both retreat. She wonders if you're losing interest. You wonder if something is wrong with her. Both of you feel alone. And that loneliness happens in the same room, in the same bed, in the same relationship. Biologically, a woman's fluids change all the time. After menopause, after stress, after illness, after a shift in diet, even after certain medications, her body is always adjusting, always responding, always changing. That is normal. That is human. But emotionally, when no one speaks, everything becomes heavier. She feels judged even if you never say a word. She feels rejected even if you still love her deeply. She feels uncertain even if you are simply confused. And practically, silence makes small issues grow. A simple imbalance goes untreated. A small discomfort becomes bigger. An easy fix becomes a long-term misunderstanding. But here's what I want you to remember. Intimacy is not just physical contact. It is communication. Gentle, curious, kind. You don't need to bring it up harshly. You don't need medical language. You don't need to make it serious or heavy. A simple line can change everything. Hey, how are you feeling lately? Anything different for you? Do you want to check things together? She doesn't need perfection. She needs partnership. She needs to know you're with her, not judging her, not pulling away, not silently worrying. When a man speaks with warmth, a woman relaxes. Her confidence grows. Her body responds naturally. Connection becomes easier, deeper, and far more joyful. Silence creates distance. Kindness creates closeness. Your voice can bring you back together. Now we arrive at the biggest mistake older men make. The one that affects intimacy more than hormones, more than age, more than performance. Forgetting the emotional power of acceptance. Many men think intimacy is mechanical. Technique, positions, endurance, a checklist of doing things right. But that is not where real connection lives. Real intimacy begins with how safe a woman feels in your presence. How accepted she feels in her own skin. How much trust her body has in you. Because here is the truth most men never hear. A woman's body opens when she feels accepted. Her breathing softens. Her muscles relax, her mind lets go of stress, and her body responds naturally, beautifully, effortlessly. This isn't magic. It's biology. Relaxation increases blood flow. Blood flow increases sensitivity. Sensitivity increases natural lubrication. Lubrication increases comfort and pleasure. Acceptance is a biological switch. It is one of the most powerful intimacy enhancers known to medicine. Stronger than supplements, stronger than shortcuts, stronger than any trick on the internet. But, emotionally, acceptance does something even deeper. It heals. It dissolves years of quiet shame women carry about their bodies. Shame from past partners. Shame from aging. Shame from comparing themselves to unrealistic images. When a man accepts her fully, without hesitation, without judgment, with genuine appreciation, her body trusts him, her heart trusts him, and intimacy becomes joyful instead of stressful. Practically, this changes everything. Moments become lighter, playful, warm, connection becomes easier, arousal becomes stronger, and both partners feel more confident than they have in years. Men often chase performance, but performance grows naturally when emotional safety is present. Acceptance is not weakness, it is strength, it is leadership, it is the foundation of long-lasting passion. So the next time you are with your partner, remember this truth. Your presence matters more than perfection. Your acceptance is more attractive than any technique. Your kindness unlocks more pleasure than any physical skill ever could. Now let's bring everything together. You've learned the science. You've learned the emotions. You've learned the mistakes most men never realize they're making. So what do you actually do next? Let me give you a simple 3-step action plan that any man in his 50s, 60s, 70s, or beyond can start today. Step 1. Have the health conversation. Not dramatic. Not heavy. Just honest. Just gentle. You can say something as simple as, "Let's check our health together." Or, "I want us both to feel our best." Testing twice a year is smart, responsible, and creates trust instead of fear. It shows leadership. It shows care. It shows partnership. Step 2. Pay attention without judgment. If you notice a small change in her taste, her smell, her comfort, her lubrication, don't criticize. Don't pull away. Don't make her guess what you're thinking. Suggest a refreshing shower together. Encourage hydration. Ask if she feels different lately. Support her in checking with her doctor if needed. Small changes often have simple explanations: stress, sleep, hormones, diet, medications, none of it means something is wrong with her or wrong with you. Step 3. Practice acceptance every single time. Your tone matters. Your expression matters. Your energy matters. When she feels accepted, her body responds. Her confidence rises. Her pleasure increases. And intimacy becomes easier than it has been in years. Acceptance is not passive. It is the most active form of connection. It is the strongest foundation for joy, comfort, and long-lasting passion. And here's the final truth I want you to carry with you. Passion does not retire. Not at 60. Not at 70, not at 80, not ever. Your best years of connection can still be ahead of you if you choose honesty, kindness, and real partnership. So take the small steps, make the small changes, have the real conversations, because those small actions can bring confidence, comfort, and freedom back into your life.